Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin spoke to the media today, and he had some very interesting things to say about his ongoing extension talks with the Washington Commanders. Today on the show, we're going to talk about what Terry had to say to the media, specifically about these three topics. Number one, Terry's frustration with the team with the extension talks, or lack thereof, at this point in the offseason. Then, will Terry attend training camp, or will he hold out? And then we'll talk about the possibility of the Commanders trading Terry McLaurin, or Terry demanding a trade out of Washington as a result of these ongoing talks. But before we get into today's content, subscribe to the Commanders Report by Chat Sports here for daily in-depth updates on the Terry McLaurin saga. We put out another update yesterday. We're doing another one today, obviously. So, up-to-date updates for you guys on the Terry McLaurin situation. And then, of course, when and if an extension gets done, we will have a video for you guys breaking down the details and getting ourselves excited for the start of this 2025 Commanders campaign. So we'll start here with Terry's frustrations. And this was kind of his opening statement to the media today about the ongoing contract talks with the Commanders. Quote, "I've been pretty frustrated, I'm not going to lie. Everything that has transpired up until this point has been disappointing and frustrating. I've wanted to continue my career in Washington. I've created my life here. My wife and I have bought our first home here. This has been somewhere I've always wanted to be. It feels like you have to beg for someone to see your worth and your value. You feel like you put that out there year in and year out. Everything from previous regimes to even now, I've done everything that's been asked of me. I'm not perfect at all. I've definitely made mistakes, but I've also led with the right foot, and I've tried to put myself in a position to be a person that can be valued and respected amongst his coaches and his teammates, but also be a dog on the field. I don't want that to get mistaken, and I feel like I'm one of the best receivers in this league, and it's not because of me just feeling that, but I've proven it, and I'm going to continue to work hard." So Terry's obviously very frustrated here, guys, but it also sounds like Terry clearly wants to be here, which has been another part of this conversation that we have talked about time and time again on this channel throughout this entire saga. Terry wants to be here, and the Commanders both want him to be here as well. So both sides want to get a deal done. There's just a disagreement as to the terms of the contract that they need to iron out before the start of the season. It's also pretty clear to me, guys, that Adam Peters, the Commanders GM, is probably lowballing Terry McLaurin. Of course, Adam Peters comes from the school of John Lynch, who, of course, is the current GM with the San Francisco 49ers. Peters came to us from the 49ers as the former assistant GM there, and the 49ers have a long history of dragging these contract negotiations out, lowballing initial offers to players, and resolving these things very late into the preseason even. And Adam Schefter hinted that their offer could be around the range of $24 million per season, which wouldn't actually be that much of an increase compared to where he is right now. That number would make Terry the 15th highest paid wide receiver in football, according to APY. That is earnings per year. And currently, Terry is 17th on that list. His current contract paid him $22.788 million per season. So if they're really offering him not even $2 million more per season on this next contract, when he's coming off fresh off an all-pro season where he had 13 touchdowns, I absolutely understand, and I completely agree with Terry McLaurin being as upset as he is and frustrated as he is with the Washington Commanders, who frankly are offering him $10 million less than pretty much what he's worth. I think he should get probably at least what DK Metcalf got from the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. He got $33 million per season. According to this report from Schefter, he made it seem like the Commanders are offering him $24, which is $9 million less. That is an insulting offer, to be quite frank with you guys, and I think in order for a deal to get done, Washington and Adam Peters is going to have to raise their offer at least to $30 million per season. So let me know down there in the comments section, who's more to blame for this deal not getting done at this point? Type Terry if you think Terry is the one to blame, not taking the money that's offered to him, or type WAS if you think Adam Peters and the Commanders are to blame for lowballing Terry McLaurin in these contract negotiations. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by letting me know who you blame for this ongoing contract fiasco. Now, before we get into the rest of today's show, guys, I want to give you guys a little bit of an opportunity to get an awesome Commanders sweatshirt at a great price from our friends at Fanatics here. All you have to do is go to chatsports.com/WAS hoodie, and you guys can get this Commanders hoodie in your closet today for 50% off. You got the sleeve logos on there. You got the logo on the chest there as well. I really love the burgundy color as well. So if you're looking for a lucky sweatshirt to wear on Commanders game days this year, as this team tries to hoist another Lombardi trophy in this team's history, you can go chatsports.com/WAS hoodie. You click that link and you make a purchase. You get 50% off your hoodie today. So use that link. It's down there in the comments and description of today's show. So now the second thing I want to talk about here is, could Terry McLaurin hold out of Commanders training camp if this kind of contract situation doesn't get better in the days and weeks to come? This is what Terry had to say on potentially missing training camp this year. I haven't decided that yet. I'm trying to take things day by day. I think that's the disappointing part, where I was hoping up until this point things would clear up a lot more than they have. I haven't made that decision yet, and see how the rest of the week goes and take it day by day and go from there. I think there has to be some active discussions. We haven't talked in over a month, and obviously with camp around the corner, it's becoming a little bit of crunch time. Obviously, you want to be in a position where you're building, and where we did last year, and Jayden and I continue to build along with the offense. And that's the thing. Before I took a step back at OTAs, things were going great on the field. The connection in the offense was amazing. So to see where it was then and where it's at now, it's definitely disappointing. So I don't know what happens next, but without any progressive discussion, it's kind of hard to see how I step on the field. So my biggest worry in this entire situation, guys, is not necessarily whether or not the Commanders and Terry will get a deal done. I think that is pretty darn likely at this point. My biggest concern is, how long is he willing to sit out of Commanders training camp practices and delay that chemistry and that comfortability between Jayden and Terry this year develops, okay? Because if he holds out to like the very start of the season, like Brandon Ayuk and CeeDee Lamb did last year, it didn't go too well for those two respective teams or those two respective receivers. Both those receivers got out to really slow starts, and of course Brandon Ayuk had that massive injury midway through the season last year, and of course Dak gets injured in Dallas, so by the time CD got his feet wet last season, he definitely wasn't worth the money that he ended up getting last year in terms of his production. So if it happens this year where Terry McLaurin sits out for most of the preseason and training camp, and he's coming in cold to start the year, that could lead to a slow start for the Commanders offense this year, which could lead to more losses in the L column for this team, especially early on in the 2025 campaign. So listen, man, I think the silver lining to what he said there is that Terry McLaurin sounded really, really confident in this offense with Jayden Daniels and Deebo Samuel and all the pieces that they have here in the burgundy and gold this year. He made it sound like it was a well-oiled machine offensively in OTAs. So if they do get the band together here and they do get a deal done with Terry McLaurin in time for the season, and he has a little bit of time to work on that chemistry and comfortability with Jayden Daniels before the season starts, I have every confidence this has the chance to be one of the best, if not the best, offense in the National Football League this year. So if you think that this team's offense is top 5 in the NFL, click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. We greatly appreciate all of your guys' support, and clicking that thumbs up icon in every Commanders video that you watch here really does help out the YouTube algorithm and puts our videos in front of more Commanders fans like yourselves, so we greatly appreciate your support. So now the final topic I want to talk about today, specifically surrounding Terry McLaurin, is what are the chances that he plays elsewhere in 2025 and they end up trading him, or Terry ends up requesting a trade at some point during this process. He was asked about this, and this is what he had to say. I haven't gotten to that point yet. It has been disappointing going into this offseason. I thought there was going to be more progress, and I know those discussions were there in the beginning. And since OTAs and minicamp, we haven't had any discussions. We haven't talked at all. That's tough with camp coming around the corner, so I haven't thought that far ahead yet. So really seeing what's next in the standpoint of leaving or not, because I want to be in Washington. I want to make that abundantly clear. I really appreciate this fan base, this city, this place has become my home. But at the end of the day, you do want to feel valued and you do want to feel appreciated. And I think with how the market is today, pretty much conveys what guys of my caliber are deserving of. And I feel like I fit in that box because of just how I've always carried myself on and off the field and the value I know I'm bringing to the team. Also, JP Finley from NBC Sports Washington said that at some point during the interview there, Terry McLaurin said that there's a point of no return, but he doesn't think that they're there yet. But the clock is ticking. Okay, so I do think that something's going to get done, guys. My message on that has not changed. I have said for weeks on end here on this channel that I think that a deal will get done between these two sides, and just kind of Adam Peters' negotiation style, kind of lowballing guys into the very last second. It's probably going to lead to probably a holdout initially in training camp, and then eventually a deal is going to get done during the NFL post or preseason this year. Now, I don't think he's going to get traded, but if he does, we actually did do a video on this channel a couple weeks back breaking down the most realistic trade destinations. So if you're interested in seeing the teams that Terry is the most likely to go to via trade, you guys can click the link to that in the comments and description of today's show, and I'll also put the chip to that video in the top right if you want to check it out. But where are you guys at? Let me know down there in the comments section. What is your concern level for the Terry McLaurin situation right now? Put it on a scale of 1 to 10 for me down there in the comment section. 1 being I'm not worried about it at all, to 10 being I am absolutely panicking. Right now, guys, I'd put it at around a 3.5 or a 4 because I am worried about him missing time during training camp and having a slow start if it's a prolonged holdout during training camp. But I have every confidence in the world. Terry McLaurin will be playing for the Washington Commanders here in 2025. Now, before I go, I do have one final item here, and of course, this whole Terry McLaurin situation, it's a little bit unsettling. It doesn't bring a lot of good vibes to the Commanders Nation here, but there was some good news today where Art Monk, one of the greatest receivers in this franchise's history, is going to get his number 81 retired by the team in Week 9 Sunday Night Football versus the Seattle Seahawks. And Monk is one of the greatest Washington Redskins of all time, 3-time Super Bowl champion, almost 1,000 career receptions, over 12,000 career receiving yards, and almost 70 career touchdowns with this football team. And of course, he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame back in 2008. So much deserved here for one of the greatest players in this franchise's history. So if you guys want to congratulate Art Monk on getting his number retired by the Washington Commanders here, spam those 81s down there in the comment section to show your love for a Washington legend. That'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report by Chat Sports. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. Again, like I said, we're giving you guys Terry McLaurin updates as they come in on this channel for free every single day. So if you guys want the very latest surrounding this football team throughout the 2025 season, click that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, go raise some hell.